Ghostbusters 2016 is one of the worst films I've ever watched. I wanted to like this movie. I honestly did. I went into it thinking, alright, this film might not be amazing, but it's at least going to give me a few memorable jokes to laugh at, some likable characters to get invested in, a few awesome action scenes to excite me. Unfortunately, this movie offered none of those things. I left Ghostbusters 2016 feeling as though I had wasted my time, which is the worst thing a movie can do to your psyche.
What did I learn from this movie? Why did I watch it? Who thought that making this was a good idea? How could you possibly make a movie that is this lazy and uninspired?
After the entire world went nuts over this movie, I thought it would be best if I didn't see it until after all the drama died down. Let's go into this movie with an open mind, I thought. Maybe it's not as bad as everybody else said it was. Who knows? I might end up enjoying this movie.
No, this film is just as bad as everybody made it out to be. Not only is this the worst comedy I have ever seen in my life, but it is also the worst reboot that anybody anywhere has ever produced. I wish I was exaggerating. I wish that I could tell you that everybody was wrong about this movie, but I can't.
This film is so devoid of heart and creativity that the only way it could stay relevant was to appeal to the feminazis and SJWs. Why else would people mindlessly attack and ridicule the ABGN simply because he said he wouldn't see this reboot? Why else would accusations of sexism and misogyny be levied against anybody who didn't like this movie?
It's because this film has no other leg to stand on.
It's boring, it's stupid, the characters are bland one-note stereotypes, the special effects look awful, and the story is fucking terrible and poorly written.
Get this. The main villain of the movie wants to flood New York City with ghosts because some people were rude to him in life. Yeah, that is literally his motivation. This movie doesn't bother trying to develop this guy's character or make us sympathize with him. No. They just expect you to buy the premise that this guy went through all this trouble to summon ghosts into New York City just so that he can get revenge for being bullied or something along those lines. I can't even remember the guy's name. How do you make a villain that is this forgettable?
This doesn't feel like a movie. This feels like a pathetic attempt by Hollywood to extort money out of Ghostbusters fans who have waited decades for another film in the franchise. And that's because it is.
To further drive home the point that this movie is terrible, let's examine our protagonists.
All of these characters suck. They all have the charismatic personality of a piece of cardboard. I don't even remember the name of the character Leslie Jones was portraying, or whoever the fuck Kate McKinnon was supposed to be. Abby and Aaron are the only characters whose names I know right off the bat, and that's only because the movie focuses solely on them and could give less of a fuck about the other two Ghostbusters.
But it doesn't end there. You think the Ghostbusters are annoying stereotypes that hardly undergo any actual character development? Just wait until you see their secretary.
Here is your coffee, Abby.
Thank you. Did you get sugar in it this time?
I hate coffee. Yeah, the sugar's in there.
Sugar.
This asshole is the most offensive, sexist caricature of a male that I've ever seen. You thought that Patrick Star was an annoying douchebag? You thought that Robin, Cyborg, and Beast Boy from Teen Titans Go were obnoxious idiots? Ladies and gentlemen, these guys are saints compared to the man who the Ghostbusters hired to be their secretary.
Hey guys, which one of these makes me look more like a doctor? Me playing saxophone or me listening to saxophone?
As much of an asshole as I am, there's a limit to what I say in regards to the directors and screenwriters of awful movies. That's because these people are human beings, just like I am. They have thoughts and emotions, just like I do. And a lot of them have a passion for what they do, even if their product eventually turns out to be shit. But when it comes to scenes like this...
Jillian Holtzman, Radio Times. What have you been doing with your whole life? Great question.
Oh, well, lots of different jobs. I did the actor thing. Worked for...
Just real quick, can I ask why no glass?
Oh, yeah, they just kept getting dirty, so I took them out. Don't have to clean them anymore. You know,
Oh,
I can just
boy. I gotta try to keep that in mind.
All of my courtesy and respect goes straight out the fucking window. Nobody gave a shit about this movie. Nobody cared. The actors gave dull, lifeless performances. The screenwriters clearly didn't know how to write a cohesive and entertaining story. The producers had no respect for a franchise that millions of people around the world love. The director simply threw up his hands and said, fuck it, I'm getting a paycheck for this no matter how bad the final product is, so I might as well just phone it in and give the corporate heads what they want. Nobody cared, because if they did, there wouldn't be stupid scenes like this.
God, that's loud, huh?
You know, even the worst movies leave you something to walk away with. Whether it's how not to write characters, how not to write stories, or even just how not to make movies in general. They make sure that you walk away with something. They, at the very least, give you unintentionally hilarious scenes and interestingly awful characters to follow. Hell, just look at The Room, Birdemic, or Cyberbully. Movies that are so bad, they're enjoyable to watch with friends and make fun of. This film, on the other hand, didn't give me anything. I didn't learn anything from it, I didn't remember anything about it, and I just didn't want to finish it. It took me an entire night to finish this 2-hour film. An entire night. Before I end this review, I'd like to go over just a few more of the problems that this movie has.
The cameos from the original Ghostbusters were not funny, and in the case of Bill Murray, just insulting. Bill Murray is a skeptic who doesn't believe that the Ghostbusters should be taken seriously, and he gets killed by a ghost in this movie when he goes to confront our protagonists about their business. This movie also has this weird, incredibly idiotic side plot where the mayor and his associates make the Ghostbusters out to be frauds to the city of New York in exchange for letting them continue their work as Ghostbusters. The mayor explains that he doesn't want to draw any attention to this ghost epidemic because then it'll cause mass hysteria, which is fucking stupid. You have a team of paranormal hunters who are more or less capable of capturing these ghosts and preventing this epidemic from getting any worse in the first place, and yet you don't want to inform the public about this for the sake of not spreading awareness about your fucking city being flooded by an army of the damned?
That's like a dentist deciding not to tell his patient that he needs a root canal because he's afraid of the patient freaking out, despite the fact that he has a team of surgeons at hand who are more than perfectly qualified to carry out the procedure painlessly. Oh yeah, you know that tooth that always hurts? Just ignore that. It'll go away eventually. Just pretend that it isn't there, that it doesn't exist. There's no pain. It's just a figment of your imagination. Have a nice life.
That's not the only nonsensical plot point in this film. Towards the end of the movie, it's revealed that generic British villain has the power to possess people and take the form of whatever creature he wants to transform into. How the fuck does he do this? He's not a demon, he's not a god, he's just some random fuckwad who decided that he was going to summon an army of ghosts and bring them into our dimension. Killing himself is the only thing he did that could possibly justify how he got his powers.
You're telling me that if I summon a bunch of ghosts and then kill myself, I can take on the powers of Gozer? Fuck, if it was that easy, I'm surprised that more people haven't tried it at this point.
Let's forget the fact that this movie literally doesn't explain how the fuck doing any of this gives you these powers, and just focus on this scene right here.
He's too strong! We can't let the portal close with him still here!
All right, ladies. Let's loosen his grip.
Yo, that's where you wanted us to shoot, right?
Yes!
Wow, this movie really does not give a fuck.
You don't have any balls! There are no testicles on your body whatsoever! You are a cartoon logo! How the hell does this fucking work?
I'd rather jerk off to incest porn than watch this shit.
There are two more things I want to discuss about this film before I finally cry myself to sleep. First things first, the protagonists. Like I said before, they are all bland stereotypes that aren't memorable in the slightest. Melissa McCarthy plays the talkative, outgoing, and eccentric engineer who believes in ghosts. Christian Wiig plays an awkward, introverted scientist who at first doesn't want to be a Ghostbuster, but after she loses her job as a professor at various colleges for stupid reasons, she decides to join the team. Kate McKinnon plays a slightly less extroverted engineer whose only purpose in the film is to react wildly to things, be really obnoxious, and be a closet lesbian. I think. Her character is easily the worst out of the four. Leslie Jones plays a sassy, down-to-earth black chick who just decides to join the Ghostbusters because they need someone who knows how to get around the city that these three characters have presumably lived in their entire lives. The last thing I want to talk about is this joke right here.
God, that's loud, huh?
This joke encapsulates everything that's wrong with this movie. Not only does it not make any sense, but they use it twice in the fucking film.
Don't listen.
I won't.
Here's a little fact for you producers that you might not know yet. Ahem. Sound is heard through your ears, not your eyes.
And before you tell me, Alex, you moron, the joke is that of course everybody else knows that sound is processed through your ears and not your eyes. That's what makes a joke funny. No, that's a shitty argument and I'm going to explain why.
Let's use this scene from Dumb and Dumber as an example of how you do this joke right.
Ah! Lloyd, you okay? Harry! It's Mary! Who? Mary with the briefcase? Mary Swanson. Swanson. Wool. Host? Annual. Host. Annual. Annual. Meeting of. Yeah. It's a big one. International Preservation Society tomorrow night.
The joke is that Jim Carrey's character can't pronounce shit because he's an idiot. And it actually works because there are millions of people in this world who have trouble reading or saying certain words properly. Because it's believable that a person can be this fucking stupid and it plays up that believability to its extreme, the joke is funny. However, here,
God, that's loud, huh?
the joke falls flat on its ass because there is nobody on the face of the earth who covers their eyes when they hear a loud noise. Because it's unbelievable that a human being can be this dumb, the joke doesn't fucking work.
This movie. That's all I can really say. Fuck this movie. It's pathetic, soulless garbage pushed out by a corporation to try and make money off of people who see the name Ghostbusters and think, wow, they're making a new Ghostbusters movie? That's awesome, I want to go see it. Listen, say what you want about Movie 43 or the Scary Movie franchise. At least those films actually feel like movies. At least the people making it are trying to make you laugh. At least those movies aren't resorting to segregating people using gender politics to try and stay relevant. At least those movies have a soul. The people who made this movie didn't care about what they were making. They just knew that people would go in to see this movie just because it has the Ghostbusters name attached to it, and they just decided to phone it in and not put any effort into their product. Listen, this movie fucking sucks, and it's easily the worst movie that I have ever seen. Do yourself a favor and don't watch this movie. There are far better comedy films out there that you could spend your time watching. Fuck it, I'm going to give you a list of comedy movies that you can watch instead.
Spaceballs, Airplane, The Dictator, Dumb and Dumber, The Fluffy Movie, The SpongeBob SquarePants Movie, any of the Futurama films, The Simpsons Movie, The Lego Movie, South Park, Bigger, Longer, and Uncut, and hell, just watch the original Ghostbusters for Christ's sake.
Don't waste your time with this trash. You're better than that. I know you are. Now, I'm Alex the Critic, and I'm going to take whatever the hell these are. I'll see you guys late.